Hello. How are you? Ha. So today, it's just me, different setting. I would like to share with you a wonderful experience that I've had last month. Um, I see it as an initiation. Um, yeah, if you want to get a cup of tea or coffee or something, um, because there's a bit of a story behind it, and it wouldn't make sense if I was just talking about what I got the honor to do without giving a bit of a backstory. So it started over the summer. I have a dear friend of mine that wanted to treat his partner to a massage with me. And the week before that, we were looking at a video of that particular friend um, with my friend Deborah. And Deborah was telling me, I have a feeling she's pregnant. Look at the video. And I looked at the video, I was like, oh yeah, she looks full. So because I know I have to give her a massage, I sent her a message and I asked, hey, are you preggers? And she says, yes. I was like, what? I was absolutely over the moon because I mean, a new life in the community is always really nice, especially when you know the people and they're dear friends. So I thought it would be nice to celebrate when she comes. So I gave her my last appointment so her and her partner could stay for some food afterwards. And Deborah was with us as well to come for dinner. Anyway, when my client came and I gave her her massage, there's a point where I was just holding her belly. And the baby was moving a lot, like boom, 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 saying hi, moving a lot. And she said, wow, the baby really, really likes you, like never moved so much before. Anyway, we finished the massage. I played the drum. I sing a song for her, and the baby again moves a lot. She was like, that's very, very interesting. Anyway, we ended up having some food. Her partner comes back. Deborah is with us, and we have a lovely dinner, lovely time together. And before she goes, I play the drum again for her, and I give her a prayer to her and the baby. And as I'm doing that, the baby is moving a lot again. And she's telling me, Laurence, I have a feeling the baby wants you to be our doula. I think it's very clear. I was like, yeah, I've done a training back in 2017, but I haven't finished the homework. I'm not certified a doula. She was like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's very clear. That baby wants you in our life and wants you at birth. I want you to be our doula. So I'm looking at the partner. They're like, yeah. So I was like, okay, I've got some homework to do. So the next day I contact Mars Lord, which is the founder of Abuela Doula. And I'm in a bit of a panic. I was like, I've got a friend that is having a baby and she wants me to be a doula, and I haven't completed my course. So she's like, stop panicking. First of all, you are a doula. Look at the work that you're doing. You are a doula. And I can be checking on you. You're just one text, one phone call away. I can watch over you. So I asked her to be my mentor. And we start our mentoring session straight away. So the following day, I let my client know that I will be her doula. So I'll be following her for the last trimester of the pregnancy up until birth. So we communicate on the phone, checking in how she is, how doctor's appointments are going. The hospital is not too keen on her to have her baby at home because they're saying she has a high-risk pregnancy because she's 35. And also she had a fibroid that, even though was degenerating, they were seeing it as a big problem, nothing else. Anyway, the original midwife that we had was absolutely amazing. We spoke the same language energetically. She had 30 plus years experience. And she was going to stick to my client's plan. She wanted to have a home birth and she wanted to have a water birth. So the pool was going to be provided by the hospital. And she was very confident at the time that she'll be present for the entire trimester until the birth of the baby. And what I liked about this midwife is that she was very generous in terms of sharing her information. So when she was doing examination on my clients, she would invite me to touch the belly and understanding and feeling where the baby, how the baby was placed, where the head was. It was absolutely fascinating. She had children very late too, and she shared her experience having children at 40. And so we were very comfortable with this midwife. I was very excited because I felt I was going to learn a lot. And so we were happy. She saw, sometimes I could go to her house to meet the midwife, and sometimes I couldn't because she lived quite far away from me. But then maybe 2 weeks before my client was supposed to give birth, basically she's telling me that she's trying to be in touch with her midwife, but she's not responding. And then one day she received a text from a different midwife saying that she was going to be her midwife from now on. I was like, oh, but what's happened to the other one? They didn't give her any explanation. One day they told her that she was placed into hospital ward, and then eventually they said that she had been unwell. But anyway, 2 weeks before my client is supposed to give birth, it felt a bit like an earthquake because we really trusted this midwife that was going to follow her birth plan. And so I don't know what's happened with the hospital, but all of a sudden, my clients had to go to the hospital several times for all sorts of scans and tests and everything. But every time she was going, she would feel very threatened, or she was made to feel that she was very irresponsible for having or wanting to have a home birth. And it's the language that they use that was extremely manipulative. So even though you always have a choice, if you don't go their way, they're going to try to make you feel like you're responsible. So it was a bit tricky because of the pandemic. My client wasn't allowed to have somebody going with her to those consultation. So it was quite troubling. And I was like, okay, why are they making all that fuss? And it's like, because she's 35 and because she's got a fibroid. I was like, is there anything wrong with you in your body, your blood pressure, anything life-threatening that, she's like, no, nothing is there. So I was like, okay. They went as far as writing on her medical note that basically that consultant had asked her, would you rather die than taking that medication? And my client was like, that's not what I've said. All I'm telling you is that I am not used to take medication. I am not ill. I'm having a baby. So stop treating me like I am unwell. I don't want to have my child in a hospital because people go to hospital when they have problems. Okay? I don't have a problem. Everything is fine. And I don't want to take medication because I'm well and healthy. So this consultant actually wrote on her note, would rather die than taking medication, which is very serious because this kind of note on your medical records follows you. So I was quite furious when I saw that. So we are 2 weeks before the birth, and we're supposed to meet the new midwife. So I go to my client's house earlier so we can have a chat as to how we want to move forward and looking at her notes and everything. And I'm looking at the whole thing, and I'm basically being in touch with my mentor, with Mars. I was like, this is what's happening. Like, what do I do? Because I was a bit confused. And she told me, you stick to your client's need. You are working for your clients, for nobody else. So she knows her body, she knows what she needs, and you need to support her needs. So, and she's telling me, and I think you should give a call to the head midwife because none of this is actually ethical. You know, having her original midwife removed. Now they're telling her she can't have the pool, and they're insisting that she's a high-risk pregnancy and she needs to go back to the hospital to hear those so-called professionals telling her that she's irresponsible and she's making the wrong choice. So I give a phone call to the head midwife and I introduce myself. I said I am my client's doula, and this is what we're not happy with. Could you explain why the original doula midwife was taken away? Why now you're telling her she can't have a pool? And what is really the high risk that you're talking about? Because nothing has changed. And now all of a sudden, there is like this emergency for her to go to the hospital all the time, and we're not comfortable with that. And she keeps on saying she's high risk because she's 35 and because of the fibroids. I was like, well, we had somebody experienced enough saying that that would not be a problem. So unless there's something else, we don't see what's the fuss. And that thing on her note needs to go. So I'm telling her that I need her email and I need to file a complaint because none of this is ethical. And I also need to remind her that under their care, Black women are 5 times more likely to die. So we have all the reason to think that she'll feel safer at home. And so she's like, okay, didn't send the email, but anyway, we managed to find her email later. And I'm saying to my client, don't worry about writing that letter. I'll do it for you. I just want you to focus on your body and delivering a healthy baby. And so we filed the letter of complaint. And then about a week before the birth, the dialogue started to change. So at first, my clients didn't want to go back to hospital because they were bombarding her with high risk and the worst possible scenario where she was feeling very well and she just wanted to focus on preparing to give birth. So eventually they got the letter of complaint, and the whole dialogue and vocabulary changed. And she was totally fine. Baby was totally fine, was moving a lot. It was great. So coming to the week of due date, I think she lost her waters on a Monday. So I go to the house, we had everything set up. She bought a pool in the end because the hospital wouldn't give her one. And we're waiting. Water broke in the morning, waiting. Having a dance off in the house, candles are lit, essential oils are flowing. Baby is not coming. Okay, we go to bed, wake up the next morning, she's totally fine. We go for a long walk, totally fine. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and basically call me when you feel that you're ready, you will know. And she was like, okay. So it was a very interesting week because I hardly slept. I just had my client and that baby in my head. I would wake up, check my phone. Like it was just, I had so little sleep during that week because I was just thinking the waters have broke now. Like baby should be coming. I was like, anyway, talking to my mentor is everything. Like, she was like, your client will know. Just wait. Wait, she will call you. So on that Friday afternoon, she sends me a text and she said, baby is fully engaged, baby is coming. So I was working from home that day and I had the last client at 5. She's a dear friend of mine and a neighbor as well. And I was like, I'm going to have to cancel our session because my client is having her baby and I'm her doula and I want to be with her. And she's in labor. So it's very interesting because my friend that day sent me a very interesting, profound voice note. And she said something along the line that take your grandma with you, take all your ancestors, take all your matrilineal line with you to give birth. You've got this. And the way she said it, I was like, oh, I really felt like something really important was about to happen. And yes, a baby is coming, right? So it's something quite special. So I get to the house, everything is set up. Again, candles, I put my essential oils, put my drum on the side. Dinner was ready. So we sat around the table, we prayed together. We had a lovely dinner. And then my client decided that she needed to have a nap. So I was like, actually, I'm going to have a nap at the same time because I worked the whole day. And I was like, we're going to be on for a long night, I think. It was around 7 p.m. at that time, I think. Yeah. So I basically lie down on the sofa and went in a deep, deep, deep sleep for about 20 minutes. And my client's partner was playing music very loud. He was like, Laurence, I don't know where you went, but the noise I've made, you did not barge. You were just in a deep state of sleep. It's like, where were you? I was like, yeah, I slept very deeply and I felt really nice, refreshed, and rested. So when I woke up, I was like, where is she? I was like, she's upstairs. She had the bath. She's upstairs. So I go upstairs to check on her. And oh my God, that energy when you see that a woman is about to give birth is absolutely mind-blowing. The sound that was coming out of her, the way she was moving on the floor, she had switched all the light off. She was in almost darkness. I could almost see, I could just see the light of the old diffuser. So her skin was glowing in the dark. And she had transformed in that creature that was about to give birth. And that's an energy that I love to witness and hold. And so I went downstairs. I told her partner, go and see her. She's a different person now. And he went and witnessed. He was like, wow, wow. I was like, well, she's doing her work. We're going to leave her to it for a little bit. And then about 15 minutes later, I went back and it's very interesting because contractions are coming in waves. So there's such a flow. It's important not to disturb that flow. So I waited a little moment when she was kind of with me. And I was like, do you need to be held anywhere? Do you want your body to be held? And her partner was with me. She was like, yes, my lower back. So I showed him how to do the body work on her lower back. And I left them two to it after that. Waited another 20 minutes. Came back with my drum this time. And she was on her bouncy ball. And I was like, would you like me to play the drum? And she was like, yes, please. So I played the drum kneeling in front of her. And she was moving and dancing and moving. And she was really taking the drum in. And I was like, okay, whenever you're ready, we're going to come downstairs because I think baby is coming. It's like, do you need help to come down? She was like, no, I'm fine. So I went downstairs. She followed soon after. And her partner had filled the pool with the right temperature. And basically, I carried on doing some body work on her. She was on her bouncy ball and she kept on moving and breathing. And the music was loud. She had recorded some affirmation that she did for herself and the baby. And then I know she doesn't like the new midwife that much. So I grasped that little moment of where she was with me. I was like, shall we call the midwife? Because I'm aware that the baby is really coming now. She was like, okay, you can call her. So her partner gave me the phone. I called the midwife and I was like, hey, the baby is coming. Just wanted to let you know. She's like, what's going on? What's happening? So I tell her what's happening. I tell her about the contraction, like how often they were, all of that. And she basically tells me to call an ambulance right now. And I'm like, but they want to have a home birth. Like, they're having the baby. Like, oh, you're on your way because you're supposed to deliver the baby. I am on my way, but I probably won't be able to make it on time. You need to call an ambulance now. And she was like, what's going on? I was like, well, there's a bit of brown liquid. Like, the baby is coming. She was like, that's not supposed to happen. If anything goes on, Laurence, it's on you. And in that moment, I was like, I had a moment of fear in that moment. And I have both my clients, she was in the pool and her partner was holding, and they were looking at me and they told me, put the phone down and bring your energy back into the room. Everything is going fine. Everything is going well. Put the phone down. I was like, well, I hope you're on your way. I put the phone down. My clients look at me and she said, Laurence, you're going to have to catch the baby. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, like, how is this happening to me? Just like that. And she was dead serious. And I kind of had another look at the door, hoping that the midwife that I spoke to 2 seconds ago was going to appear like by magic. And it was very clear that this is what I had to do because nobody else was there. And so she kept on pushing. I couldn't see anything. Kept on going around, couldn't see anything. And then I went around and the whole head was out. And every time, even now when I think about it, it's like I have to catch my breath. So I see this perfect little head in the water and I've got trillions of thoughts going in my head. I was like, okay, the baby has been in the womb for 9 months. It's fine. It can be in the water for a while. And I said to my client, the head is out. She's like, okay, just pull it. Then I was like, no, I don't think I'm supposed to do that. I'm going to hold the head and you're going to feel when you need to push again. I think feel it in your body. You're going to know I'm here. I'm holding the head. And she slightly tilted her body and pushed, and I had this whole new human being in my hand and in water. And I witnessed that new being taking their first breath. And I was totally blown away. And I was like, baby is out, baby is out. She turned around, she was like, I created the whole human and I gave it to her. And basically this really felt like an initiation. The only way I can translate and process what has happened is me obeying the divine, being very present and being very obedient. And it's been such an honor to hold the space in that way and to have the honor to be the first person really to touch a newborn. So eventually the paramedic came and they were amazing people. They've let my clients keep the baby on the placenta for about 45 minutes. The midwife was the last one to come with her colleague. Obviously didn't look at me in the eye because I think she felt like I stole her job at that moment. But hey. And yeah, we had a beautiful baby girl born into her water element, a beautiful, healthy Scorpio little girl that chose me as her doula and chose me as the person that was going to be here when she transitions and come to this dimension. So yeah, she initiated me, and I couldn't have wrote that experience like the way it happened and all the trials and tribulations along the way. I am so grateful to my clients for choosing me, to Baby Girl for choosing me, for Mars Lord for being an amazing mentor, an amazing support throughout, and thank you to the divine for coming through in such a magical way, and for showing us how nature can work brilliantly sometimes. Now, this was my experience and the experience of my clients. I I absolutely respect every birth, however you choose to have your child, as long as mothers and babies are safe and well, it's okay. Maybe C-section, maybe at the hospital, birthing center. I support and respect all of it. This was one experience, one particular experience, and probably one of the most incredible experience so far, because I got given the opportunity to hold a baby as they come fresh out of the womb. So yeah, that was my initiation. Thank you for listening.